knock-on or a forward pass, but a knock-on really, because he never really passed it.
Yeah.
But after watching the replays a million times, James Child couldn't be convinced because it was handed up as a try. Kieran Dixon showed electric pace to get around them all and then scoring under the sticks. But it was, for all money for everyone watching it, it felt like it was a knock-on. But the more you watched it, there was a question mark raised of whether it came off the London player's upper arm or whether actually it bounced off Atkins' upper arm, and then as Atkins' arm came forward, did it just come back off Atkins' hand? Now the pace it came off meant it never could have come off a reaching forward hand.
Right.
Not a chance. The way it bounced up in the air forward quite fast and stuff, there's no chance. But it wasn't conclusively off the London player,
right? So
it stuck with the try decision. Ridiculous. It felt like watching it. So that got it to the exciting 40-38, and you know, plucky London. Everyone's liking London this year. The way they're going, Henderson's doing good.
Yeah.
You know, there's a feel good to it all, and we were all hoping, neutrals, that London could come back and win it. But what actually happened was there was a last tackle play that kind of ran out of steam and ended up with Kieran Dixon getting wrapped up by 2 or 3 Warrington players about 35 metres out from the line, about 7 or 8 metres in from touch. And as the hell call's made, Ryan Atkins thinks, no, we had a little bit of a set too about an hour ago. I think I'm going to come in and smash you. Came in well late round the legs. Now, Dixon had kind of been on his knees, so I don't think it was like a dangerous contact situation like the ISA one, for example. It was just a late hit, which is then dangerous in its own right and that should be penalised. And I think if it wasn't the last tackle and handover, it would have been penalised. So I disagree with Brian on this one. I think the lateness of his hit was such that the player shouldn't be put in that position where he can still get hit at that stage when he's being sort of stood up-ish. He was on his knees, but the rest of him was upright by someone coming in. So I think it should have been a penalty to London. Okay?
Yeah.
And it would have been a tough kick for Jared Samet. I'm not saying he wouldn't have made it, but I doubt he would have made it. Yeah. But also, in my opinion, a point didn't really do London any favours.
No.
When they've got to play against Lee and Widnes still, haven't they?
Do you think they would have kicked for the point? Or do you
and then the final game must be again... Who have they not played, London? They've not played Halifax, have they?
No.
So I think with those 2 games that they had to come, I think they needed to win this one.
Yeah.
Because that was the only way. Get on to 3 points and win 2 of the other 3 to get to 7 points. That was their only way of getting to the £1 million game, I felt, at that stage. I don't think they're going to win 3 from 3, even though they've been close in 4 games so far. So I actually think the kick was not a nailed-on kick at all. I think 50-50 whether he would have kicked it. Because he missed his other 2 difficult kicks. One of them hit the post and one of them went across the front. All the other kicks he's scored were pretty easy. So I actually think he probably would have missed the kick. And if he'd have kicked it, he'd only got a draw. So I still think to like blow it up into this massive conspiracy of referees against the London Broncos or whatever that followed on Twitter last night without any suggestions from any Broncos people of how to actually improve officiating or change the scenario or anything like that, it felt like. I get the frustration with it because I was shared it. I was on their side. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not quite as emotionally involved and I could step back a bit. And I don't think it would have made a difference to the season, unfortunately, if they'd have been given the penalty. But they should have been given it.
Fair play. Okay, stats-wise, who stood out for us individually?
Peter Hiku, again, a try, 190 metres, 4 successful offloads, enjoying playing these championship opponents.
Yeah.
Stefan Ratchford with a try assist, 187 metres, 2 clean breaks. Most of that running was done in the second half when he was really good. Matty Russell, a try assist, 6 tackle busts and 153 metres.
Fantastic. Okay, for London?
Well, Jared Samet stood up well. 3 tries, 1 try assist, 6 tackle busts and 3 clean breaks. Kieran Dixon, 2 tries and 151 metres. Really opportunist try, his first one. Wriggling out of some poor tackling from Lynham and getting over. Rhys Williams with a try, 136 metres and 2 clean breaks. And he probably blew an opportunity in the first half that could have really opened things up for London, unfortunately, when he chose to take a tackle, I think, when he could have, and I think it ended up with him getting a penalty and kicking the 2 on the set.
I see. Fair play. Okay, so it's actually this afternoon's games, isn't it?
Yeah, so we don't know much about these
on a Sunday, so we haven't got a tremendous amount, but we'll give you some scores and a little bit of feedback, I guess. Featherstone, good performance at home against Hull KR. They went down 18 points to 30, but by no means disgraced themselves against a Hull KR side that you think are going to still in with a push for getting up automatically, aren't they? In front of 4,583 down at Fev, refereed by Gareth Hewer, who must have been wondering why he wasn't in the south of France.
Well, no one was.
Oh, that's a good point. Ha!
Not even to lose. Brian Davies said, listen to this on Radio Yorkshire. Big following of KR fans, about 2,000, and it'll be good to see them back in Super League next year if they can get one more win. KR just had that bit more class than Fev, and a few poor options from Fev cost them the chance to cause an upset. Game didn't finish until 5pm. Something needs to be done to speed up scrums, goal kicks and dropouts, but especially goal kicks.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, 2-hour game when it wasn't on TV, so we can't just blame Sky and video refereeing, can we?
Am I right in thinking that there's a clock in the NRL for kicks and stuff?
Yeah, there is 30 seconds on dropouts and scrums. It might be 20 seconds on scrums.
So we have an adequate solution to this problem.
The problem is all their games are individually officiated with off-site support and with a lot more people that can control those sort of things.
True.
Whereas putting those clocks in on these sort of semi-professional games in these grounds where some of them don't even have adequate toilet facilities, let alone or adequate Wi-Fi, even in some of the Super League games. That's the problem we've got. We're behind them in terms of the scale of the product. So even things like having 2 referees or having video refs at every game or whatever, littler things like having a clock like this, it's maybe hard to manage. Now the referee could have just another watch and click it, and if watches work, like they can just reset every time you've clicked it, then there must be some watches that work like that. Maybe you can bring it in. But in the NRL they have like a big countdown and kind of like a play clock like you have in the NFL. In the NFL and stuff. Because it went on so late, I did get to listen to the last 10 minutes of this one after listening to the Lee against Widnes game. And it just sounded like OKR just about controlled it, and Featherstone, like what Bryce says, Featherstone missed opportunities because their half-backs are good, but they're just not good enough against better sides with better defences and better energy levels. I think that's kind of the problem. When their options get shut down, it's harder for them to execute, and I think that's the kind of situation that sounded like the kind of situation that happened for Fev. Not enough opportunities, not enough time and space to execute well enough because the team against them were at a bit high level, and forwards like Scruton are really coming to the fore in this stage of the season. It sounded like he had a good game again from what I heard.
Fair play. Okay, so at the same time on Sunday afternoon it was Halifax 0, Catalan Dragons 24. We don't have an attendance on this one, but it was refereed by Chris Kendall.
Malcolm Matias said, drugged up Drax, drag out drab win. Facts fucked till next year.
Fantastic. I like the
alliteration there. Yeah.
Absolutely, the tabloid-esque headline. Wakey White goes into a bit more detail. He says, headed over to Facts hoping for an upset. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, but it was an intriguing game. 4 bouts of fisticuffs with fisticuffs even with a highlight, and Facts never took a backward step from a very aggressive and physical Dragons side. They played a great brand of offloading rugby, but not enough of it stuck for them to really threaten. Catalan got the ball wide a few times and used raw pace to get over for their tries. Sums it up for us then, doesn't it?
What's his face? Dupont got sin-binned. I don't know if anyone else got treated to such a pleasure, but I caught on Twitter in between sort of travelling around this afternoon that happened.
Okay.
The tries came from Willie Army and Yaha, Walsh and Myler. So Walsh and Myler are good support runners, so I'm guessing that kind of maybe fits in with these outpaced scenarios. I've not seen any highlights of these yet because we kind of got straight to recording, didn't we, after putting the rundown together. But
it's a result you'd expect though, isn't it, for Catalan to come to Halifax and...
Yeah, and I
strong
actually...
defensive performance to keep the team to 0 is always the case, isn't it?
I know, and it's not like Halifax haven't been able to score tries, and even Ben Heaton...
They shut down the Ben Heaton.
Ben Heaton and Chester Butler both played and didn't score tries, so that's a good result for them. And it looks... I mean, look at the lineup. They actually picked a hooker, which was sensible. Ulrich da Costa got into the squad.
Was sensible.
With Finger injured, Aiton injured.
Yeah.
Ulrich da Costa has to be picked, but he should have been on the bench really before. I think they should have had options on the bench in the last game, and they probably would have beat Lee if they had options on the bench at hooker. Honestly, I felt. But Sam Moa, Remy Cassie, Lou Anderson, Justin Horrow, Garcia, Bird, Busquets, Battieri, they're your forward units on the bench or on the starting lineup. That should be any side of Halifax's level, to be completely honest, taking nothing away from people like Callahane, who've had a good... or Callahane, I don't know how you pronounce it, had a good...
Callahane, I think it
had a good year for them, and Ryan Boyle is a big competitor and stuff, but you'd expect that pack to absolutely run through the opposition. And so they must have done the good work to get space out wide, I would suspect, with those try scorers. So well done, Catalans. They needed a bounce back, and 24-0 is not emphatic attack wise, but it's a big
defensive statement.
Yeah, it's a statement that we're not going to fuck around anymore like we've been doing.
It talks a bit more about unity and unity of purpose, doesn't it, when you're choosing to defend that well. Okay, final game of the weekend, and Lee defeat
and big home. Cuddles all round at the end from that picture there. Look.
Big, happy Catalan player who's leaving at the end of the season.
I'm not even convinced that's from today because...
I was going to say, it looks remarkably...
like Paul Ayton,
looks remarkably sunny, and that's Paul Ayton. Yeah, there you go. So they're just happy. Well, I'm not convinced today's picture on the BBC for this one is either, because it looks like...
No, it's not. That's at the TW Stadium.
There you go. Fair play. Well, look, it's a picture of a Catalan Dragons player. Super. Final game of the weekend, Leeds Centurions defeated at home 8 points to 24 by the Widnes Vikings, Mark.
Yeah, and Widnes controlled this one throughout, really. 14-0 up at half-time, and then they scored points at crucial times in the second half when Lee looked like... Lee had a... What's his face? James Clare scored a try on his return after a year out. So every credit to him coming back and doing that. But no, Widnes had to overcome more bloody injuries in this game as well. Reece Hambury lit the show up in the first 20 minutes or so and got injured. Joe Mellor got injured. Not Joe Mellor, sorry. Danny Craven got injured just after half-time. In this one as well, which... Betts has ruled them both out for next week already, which is a shame for them because next week's a huge game, like they're all going to be. But key points, like just after Lee had scored, Corey Thompson went and scored after Lee had coughed up the ball on the exit set, basically. And then a few penalties just to tick things over and wind things down in the last 15 minutes or so for Widnes, which just shows Lee were kind of their own worst enemy in this game, couldn't get anything going and couldn't not give kickable penalties away in the last 15 minutes when they'd just about found an attack. So, yeah, good crowd though, 6-2-09.
Healthy in there, okay. So, tell us about the standings.
Warrington and Hull KR stay on 100%, 8 points from 8 available. Widnes have 6 points from 8. Lee and Catalan, both on 4, currently fill the £1 million game places.
There you go. So, predictions, Super Run Dream Team results, mate. Big week for you, this.
I went 8 out of 8 this week, Thomas.
Massive. I think that's the first time anyone's gone 100% in tipping this season.
No, people have done... One of us has done 6 out of 6. Oh, we've done 6s out of 6s. I think
8 out of 8 is remarkable. Well done.
Yeah, you got 6 out of 8. Highly credible. That means the gap has closed down to 5 in the cumulative totals. You're on 131, I'm on 126. In the Super Brew, my 8 out of 8, but actually 4 out of 4 because we're only doing Super League in that, sees me wear the yellow cap this week.
Bravo.
So I did well. Ollie Smith takes top of the table with a very narrow margin. I think it's just a quarter of a point his lead now. I think that's the closest it's been all year. Dream Team's not available because the stats from the qualifiers aren't all up yet. So some the players that are kicking around at that level won't have had their points allocated.
Okay, well there you go. So that's Super League and the Championship. Super League and the Middle Eights and everything taken care of. Let's take a look now at some results from elsewhere in the world of Rugby League. Okay, so to results from elsewhere in the world of Rugby League. Championship Shield round 5 action to bring you first. It was Batley 38, Dewsbury 0 in the Heavy Woolen Derby, Mark. Oldham were defeated 18 points to 24 at home by Rochdale. At home by Toulouse. It was Rochdale 8, 16, Swinton 8, and Sheffield Eagles were defeated at home 18 points to 32 by my Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, Toulouse are joined by Batley as being confirmed home semi-finalists now for the Shield. Rochdale are almost safe. Swinton stay ahead of Oldham on points difference, making the game next week absolutely massive.
Massive indeed. League One Super 8's round 5. Toronto 36, Whitehaven 18.
Yeah, Brian Davies watched this one, as did I. He said, really close game this for a long time before Toronto went from 2 points ahead to